welcome back. This is the Above Average FPL podcast. My name's Adam, and as always, I'm joined by Baker. Good evening, mate. How are you?
What's that colour behind you, mate? What's that colour on the wall?
What's that colour? That's a green, mate. It's green.
Is it? Is it? Have we got green arrows?
It's unusual, but yes, we have green
Have we?
arrows.
We've got green arrows.
Yeah, we've green arrows. What's really disappointing actually is told myself that I was going to introduce you as the newest linebacker for the Pittsburgh Steelers because the shoulders are still there.
Shoulders are still there. Yeah, I'm on Brad now. Thing is, once you get old, like I'm 46, I'm old. I just wear plain t-shirts all the time. So it's numerous different black t-shirts, numerous different navy t-shirts. We're very limited because we're Tottenham fans, so you can't wear anything red or even sort of resembling red. So therefore, it's quite a lot. So anyone has any fashion brand tips on good quality black or navy t-shirts, we're all up for it. Yeah, that's about us. So it's probably just got the wrong color sofa. That's what I need behind me.
It might
I don't
need,
even
but it
need this
doesn't.
sofa. I've got a sofa in my. Who needs a sofa? I feel like a shrink sometimes. This sofa that sits there.
It's funny because obviously I've got a sofa. You can see I have a sofa as well,
Yeah,
but it's a,
why? Why do
but
we have
it's
sofas?
but it's a sofa bed, so it's there for when people
So
come round or for when I get in trouble. Yeah, that kind of thing. It's just no, it's more illness than trouble. To be fair, it's more
yeah.
illness than trouble. But well, I say in the past now, I guess, but in the past, had I gone out and smashed a few beers down, that is where I would sleep, 100%.
Yeah,
Like,
that could have been me last night. I was just telling you beforehand. I'm not even on the whiskey tonight because I went out to just have one, maybe two beers during the Tottenham game, and we've got a nice little group of dads from the school dads that sort of meet up in the pub, and then that became six, and I was like, oh, I didn't expect to be a bit heavier for this, and it's tough. I was telling you beforehand. I've managed to train my brain so I wake up by 5 a.m. every Sunday morning so that I can like do the whole match of the day. But then there was the Canelo Crawford fight, so I wanted to watch that as well. So it was like, right, 2 hours business when you've had six beers the night before. So maybe the analysis might not be on point tonight, maybe, but we'll give it a go.
I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine, mate. So we should say hello to everyone in the chat. So we've got almost 200 people in already. So hello to you. Hope you guys have had a great game week 4. It looks like loads of people have had a really good game week 4.
Mm.
And I'm asking myself, like, is my free hit a success? And I think individually, like when I look at my team and my plan, yes, my free hit was a success. But then I look around, I'm like, hold on, everyone else is getting like 70 points, 80 points. There's some 90 points out there. FPL Tommy Gunn will probably be in at some point. He got like 117 points or
Definitely.
something stupid like that.
Tommy will be in all of the chats. The only man in the world to have Zuba and Caicedo.
Be everywhere.
He'll be in everywhere. Yeah, it's a weird week, isn't it? It's been incredible. So free hit was really successful. I mean, yesterday was just incredible for the free hit. Like everyone returned. Today was obviously one of the things that Tommy's in the chat.
Straight away.
There he is. There was no chance he wasn't missing this. Um, so, yeah, like today, if you free hit, then you're really hoping for the Liverpool boys to go big, and obviously the end of it made sure is that the thing that you were free hitting for worked out. But those that wildcard, because if you wildcarded, the obvious Liverpool guy was Mo and Virgil, wasn't it? So those guys did
Yeah.
really well today. And obviously Arsenal defence, those sort of things. You got Gyökeres was in all of them. So wildcarders have had a fantastic week. Free hit it's been a really good chip week. So for someone like myself who's still done okay when I haven't played a chip, and I've got a couple of free transfers going into next week, I'm like, whew, we take that and move on. Very much so. So, and that's going to happen, isn't it? I think there should be a little bit of relief when you play a free hit that it works out because like it's 11
It can
players versus 11 players, isn't it?
it can go wrong as well, right? So there's a lot of people
Yeah.
saying like, oh, well, you free hit to my team and okay, it's about the same. But look, in 2 weeks' time, when everyone free hits Haaland in, right, it could go
Mm.
wrong. And there's going to be a lot of people that will transfer in Haaland by then anyway, but it could go wrong because anyone who's from free hit will have triple city. right? And they may
Yeah,
end up with a similar situation that those this week had with Liverpool, triple Liverpool, and go, oh, which three? And they get the wrong three, right? Because
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's annoying as well. Because I was waxing lyrical about Virgil all week and ended up on triple midfield. And yeah, okay, that's a little bit annoying, but yeah, I mean, it could happen in a couple of weeks' time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It, 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 like I say, in a single week, you normally think there's quite a lot of errors. What we've seen this week is in every game, someone was terrible. Like that's really unusual. Like is I said to you in the first 9 games, so prior to the Man United game, in the first 9 games, one of the teams got less than one XG, and in fact, the sort of like 9 teams which were either the losers or probably the luckier end of the draw, totaled like 4.5 XG between 9 teams this week. That's just so therefore points were a little bit more predictable than they normally would be.
Yeah.
That's that's that bodes very well for engaged managers, doesn't it? It's a good week for engaged managers, 100%. Yeah, yeah. If you did get sort of low 50s or something this week, or lower than that, it feels like a it feels like a it feels like a bad week to have a bad week, as it were.
Yeah, definitely. And like
Mm.
when I compare, so when I compare my team, my free hit team to the team that I did have, or I have again, wonderful. I would have had around about 50 points. So to come
Yeah,
out with what I did do, which we'll show in a second, is been good. Has been good.
yeah. That's the other thing, isn't it? With free hit success to an extent, is I think yours is fine because you leaned into fixtures that you knew were bad this week, and you didn't have certain guys, i.e. Liverpool attack, that you would want going forward. So it's not in a um, it's not in a bad place. But you are looking for bounce backs effectively, aren't you, by next week? So you're like, right, so this week Villa Forest were absolutely terrible. And now I'm just going to assume they've got promoted teams and it's all going to work out fine.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Whereas I think, if you're a Forest fan or a Villa fan right now, you're probably not feeling that optimistic.
No,
Um, these promoted teams are making it more difficult. Is Leeds I thought were excellent in the first half against Fulham. Sunderland, great. And Burnley put up a pretty good fight.
yeah,
They're not rolling over yet.
no, no, no. It's weird because I also am looking down the fixtures now, and I don't think we learnt a load more than we actually already knew as well. I think
No.
that's quite a telling thing from here, and I think that means that really what we're reacting to now is just injuries per se. And I guess you've messaged me a couple of times about this, but yes, the new signings didn't play. So Wissa didn't play, Isak didn't play. Wissa looks like he's going to be out for a bit longer,
Yeah.
or a considerable amount of time. Isak, I shall I just go and say I think he'll start game week 5. Why not? Might as
Why
well.
not?
Why not? And then, but obviously, like Eze and Javi started as well. Oh, just on that. So on socials, he's Javi. On everything, he's Javi. On the back of his shirt, he's Javi. Why are all the
Yeah.
commentators calling him Simmons? Like it. That's like it's bugged me.
I struggle with it a little bit, if I'm honest. I struggle with it a little bit. I find myself in like chats. Sometimes I say Simon, sometimes I say Xavi. I'm actually not particularly comfortable with calling him Xavi because you've always like he's one of those guys that you've always full named, isn't it? So maybe you call him, everyone goes, "Oh yeah, we're linked with Xavi Simons." You do
Do
like
the whole
like
thing.
like do the whole thing. And so I sort of I want to say the word Simons, but look, it's on the back of Xavi. I think everyone who is in the FPL world knows him now as Xavi now, isn't it? I guess maybe he always wanted to be Xavi, but he he was at Barcelona as a kid, wasn't he? So he probably was
Couldn't
like,
have it.
you can't have that one, mate. Yeah, yeah. So he's probably just taken a little while, and now he's like, yeah, yeah, I can have that now. I can have that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Just in Such in the chat, I am amazed that a West Ham fan is joining two Spurs fans, but I guess he has to do that every single day, really. So therefore, it's no real different to him.
No.
Um, but where we going? What we're gonna do?
Well, first of all, we're going to have a look at our game week scores. We'll have a look at the mini leagues, and then we'll go into the games. Pretty much. So, okay, we'll start with mine and 76 points on free hit. So yeah, pretty successful in the end. Raya in goal with his clean. Share with some late defcon in the end. I think about 80th minute he gets them. That was
Yeah,
nice. It was before the game I'd noticed that he hadn't scored in 8 games, and as a man who scores 1 in 7. Well, in fact, actually, let's just talk about the fucking palaver around like Newcastle lineups. What a drama that was! What a
Eddie
drama, what a
Howe,
nightmare that
Eddie
was.
Howe done everyone, didn't
Like
he? So
someone's getting sacked because that information was very specific, and then was changed, and then was changed back, and then was changed again. It feels like Eddie Howe's gone to certain people. This is the team, and
yeah,
to other people,
it
this is the
definitely.
team, and
It
something's
definitely
come
wouldn't
out.
surprise me. Like he lies. Eddie Howe lies. You know what I mean? So even he probably just even lies to the team. Tells them, by the way, he probably just actually lies to him. Says this is the
Probably just
team.
probably just tells them they're all starting, and then
Yeah, yeah,
they go home full of confidence. Come in the next day,
yeah.
but
Um,
he got me 8 points,
got your 8 points, mate.
so we'll
Got your
take
eight
that.
points.
Lacroix with 6, Munoz with 5 because he decided to fucking kung fu kick someone at 2 minutes into the game.
I mean that weren't far off.
Stupid one.
That weren't far off walking that.
Nah. And then so Captain Salah, I mean, whatever, fine. Gakpo 3, Xavi gets 6, which was nice. I was hoping once he went down to 10 men it was going to be more, but couldn't quite get that, and obviously he was pulled off the pitch. So Verts, useless again. Semenyo, hero, 13 points. Mateta with 2, and then Gyökeres with 6. Alderete sitting there third on my bench with 9 points. And
Oh
yeah,
man,
like a clean sweep of defensive stuff, really, as well, because Rodon with 4, and a lot of people saying Gu was going to start, which is quite funny. Didn't even make the squad. Hilarious. Dubravka with 3 points. So got to 76. Yeah,
mm,
happy. Happy. There's not much else I can really say now because I don't have to think about this set of players for next week. So I'm done.
no, you do not. You do not. Um, I finished on 72. Uh, did Semenyo in. That was my only transfer, so I've got two transfers going into next week. With probably the only issue, defense doesn't look fantastic next week, but now Murillo looks like who knows? Who knows? Because it's a knock, and we know that Anne said that Kulusevski was a knock, and he was out for what was it, 8 months? We're looking at.
He's still
So,
out.
yeah, yeah, still out posting graphic images of holes in his knee. Um, yeah, yeah. But do you know what? Imagine this though. Imagine how much I was sweating on that penalty when not only would if Dubravka had saved that, and I've got Dubravka sitting there on my bench, and I played Sells. I joked about it on the pod last week. It was like I might play Dubravka into the Sells. I mean, it would have got me an extra 2 points, but Jesus, imagine if he'd saved that penalty.
I was
That would have
nervous.
been that would have been like a 20 pointer.
I was nervous.
Because he was on top bones already, I
Yeah,
think, at
yeah.
the time. Um, yeah,
I
that
think
would have been
Hartman was
massive,
ahead of him. So yeah, I mean, like
was it?
whatever. Yeah, Hartman was ahead of him. I think he was
But
on par with
he would have
Van
got it
Dijk.
though.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, and then yeah, that was definite sort of double sweatiness of realizing that moment. But big Joachim Anderson um with a double digit. He's just a great asset, isn't he? Like he is just
Really
made for
good.
this. Really good asset. Um, Richards all close, was very close to sneaking up in the bonus in the end, but didn't get there. Didn't get there. But we'll take the cleans from Richards, Porro, and Anderson. They really did the business for me, really. And then Semenyo vice cap. That would have been nice if Mo had missed out today. That would have been sweet. Other than that, Roger Blanks again. All of my midfielders got some form of return, but unfortunately, three of them it was just clean sheets
Doesn't count.
that they got. Yeah, I mean, Reinders is the one. Reinders is the one. Like in that first half, misses a sitter early on, uh, and then should have been put through, but Haaland went wide because he's got no right foot, and wants the ball back himself, and then obviously misses the one-on-one in the second half. Like that should have been a double digit from Reinders this week. So yeah, it feels like missed out on that one. Watkins is disaster, and João Pedro gets bonus with an assist and is a striker. That's crazy. Bonus in a 4-goal game with an assist. That's pretty unheard of.
Yeah.
I don't think there could be many examples of that that's ever happened.
Yeah, that's insane.
Almost impossible. But it's because he does lots of work. So yeah, it should be in reasonable shape. I probably my only decision, I'll put this out there now for a little thinker is I'm probably going to get Palmer back in 6, and I'm questioning whether I should just do Verts to Palmer this week. If Palmer minutes look good,
you got the money for it.
Got the money for it. Palmer at United as opposed to Verts home to Everton.
It's so annoying because I mean, like in isolation, if Verts hadn't had the start that he'd had, like I'd just pick Verts in that fixture. Everton have been okay, and Verts is not.
And Man United have not been okay.
Not defensively, no. Even offensively today, they showed a little bit, but I guess a lot of it was sort of game state at 3-0 down.
Yeah,
but they haven't. I mean, like in the other games as well, their attack is okay. I'd probably expect them to score next week, but not much else.
That's probably my early thoughts if I was to make a move. Probably that one. But it's full Champions League week, so don't make early moves. I want to tell the whole world not to make early moves. I want to see no price changes. Don't make early moves, people.
You're just desperate not to see anything.
Yeah. So, admin, games, go.
So, first of all, we do need to say, of course, a big thank you to Crypto Block Dan, who sponsors the podcast. Now, if you are crypto curious or you have anything in your world relating to the blockchain, Dan is the man you need to speak to if you need advice. He is an angel investor. He's a founder. He works with startups. He's currently working and owns a game. He's worked with Yield Guild Games in the past, but a number of different big companies in the space. He's been investing in crypto since 2012, and he's been an NFT collector since 2017. He knows his shit, basically. And if you want to grab some time with Dan, you can do so over at hubble.social/Dan Hybel. You can grab from 15 minutes of his time for $40. He is a massive sponsor, or massive supporter, I should say, of the pod, and we are a massive supporter of his. So thank you to Dan for all you do for us. And let's go check him out. Go check him out. And if you want to do, I was going to start this with the Patreon stuff, but really, if you're watching this or if you're listening to this, the best thing you can do is to like the video and subscribe, right? That's the best thing you can do. If you've had a good game week and you want to let people know about it, you want to let us know about it, drop a comment in the chat. If you want to talk shit about our game weeks, drop a comment in the chat. You want to talk about transfers, drop a comment in the chat. Do all that good stuff. But if you want to continue the conversation in a bit more detail, you can head over to patreon.com/aboveaveragefpl. And you can come and join myself, Baker, and 150 others. And we're just having a great time in Discord at the moment. It is a lot of fun, especially through game day. It is a lot of fun. And obviously, is in the lead up to deadline, hilarious stuff going on. As a result of being in there, you can grab yourself free coasters. You can join the games, Last Man Standing, FPL Blackjack. There's chat about So Rare. Some guys are doing, in previous weeks, guys have been doing fantastic. And winning money over on So Rare. I'm actually having a really good week on So Rare, so I'm, gloating about that right now, which is cool. And then obviously we've got our patented Beat Baker competition. How many people did you have to spin the wheel on last month, Baker?
About 100.
So about 100 people beat Baker last month. He is determined never to let that happen again. And if
It
you
must be
can,
better. Must be better this month, surely.
it's only been 1 week, mate.
No, no, no. But last week it was terrible, wasn't it? It was 30. I only had 37 points last week, so it can't be too good.
No, but last week was part of August, I think. Was it not? We've just come back from an
Was
international break.
I just a break? It's a break. It
Yeah,
isn't.
yeah,
It
this is
is.
week one. Week one.
I'm still 44th on 72 points.
The standard in our league is
Why is
mad.
everyone so good?
So if you want a chance, so there you go. If you want a chance of beating Baker and getting in the draw for some fantastic Never Say Die whiskey, and thanks to Never Say Die for supporting us again on this, all you have to do, patreon.com/above average FPL. And there's going to be more free content coming out over on Patreon as well, which we'll be doing now that we're back in the full swing of things. We need to give a shout out to those in Patreon in our Discord League. And shout out to Henry, who's topping the Discord League with 301 points on his free hit this week, got 68 points. In second, Alex Walsh, the Riverside King. In third, Kevin Kehoe, Peter's assist. In fourth, Luke Chart, 271 points. And in fifth, Hector Isaac, FPL on the Beach on 270 points. Well done to you guys. And as you can see, great thing about FPL team, by the way, you can see there's 130 people in our league.
Nice.
Really cool.
Walshy, bloody second. I'm going to be hearing about that.
You will be.
I will be hearing about that.
And then the main league, as well. So again, how cool is this? 6,640 people in this league. This is mental. And now I've got to pronounce a name that I have no idea how to pronounce. So
you're better at this than me.
DR, I don't know how to pronounce his surname. Kodemir. So DR Kodemir, he's top, 342 points, miles ahead of Harrison Forrest in second on 320. Peter Geen, 317. What's that? Nwaish Jasper, 310. And then Brian Evans. Thanks for having a great name, Brian. 309 points. So shout out to everyone in the league. You are fantastic. The mini league code is 1WTCH2, and that is now on the screen for everyone to see. And I guess now we're going to start with Liverpool versus Burnley.
Liverpool versus Burnley.
Although we have to say hello to Chintan.
Oh, do we? Chintan's in.
Chintan has had a horror free hit. He only got 64 points. He's on a Haaland team and no Salah. No regrets. Still top 600k. So good start. Don't doubt Verts is my opinion. He's a Liverpool fan and knows his football. Well, we love you, Chintan. Love you too, man. It is a long season.
We do doubt Verts.
We do doubt Verts, though. Yeah. I'm just saying I've doubted him from day one before he even kicked the ball.
He's in your team, though, yeah.
Yep. Yep. Still there. So
stinking out.
Burnley 1, Liverpool 0. Burnley 0, Liverpool 1, I should say. Liverpool 1, Burnley 0. 95th minute Salah penalty. Like, I feel like the game went as we all kind of expected it to. I don't think we learned anything from this, really.
I'm not sure we didn't learn anything from it, because I do think we've had now 3 games of Liverpool being pretty poor in attack.
Particularly against breaking down like a particularly defensive structure, like quite a low block.
Well, not really. I wouldn't say they've had to do that much, but Newcastle and Bournemouth and Arsenal, are you calling Arsenal a low block team? Is that what we're calling them?
Yes, absolutely. Like when Arteta sets up against the big teams, that's how he does it.
He did play 8 centre backs. So yeah, they definitely have. Look, they've walked away with 12 points in 4 games, but they are not creating high value chances. They feel relatively easy to defend against. I don't know what was going on with Ekatike today. I can't work out what part of Slot's instructions were just drop deep all the time, mate. I don't like it didn't seem to make any sense at all. Like he was always deep, even when they were in sustained pressure. He'd come out of the things to want to do it. And like, mate, there's another nine here now. So you've either got to do this or you're going to lose this place. Because when he came deep, he wasn't as good as Gakpo in terms of coming deep. And I'm like, what we've seen him do in the previous games is really try and get him behind, but I felt like he didn't help. He didn't help Liverpool at all by just dropping out of that low block. Um, like this is look at the number of chances and look how low these chances are.
Yeah,
Realistically, you've got if you take out the Canate header there, the best chance of the game, bar the penalty and the Canate header, was 0.09 from Szoboszlai. 0.09. Less than 10% chance of scoring.
yeah.
They,
I think
they
that's.
couldn't break them open.
But I think that's part of the issue, I guess, with Ekitike today is that Szoboszlai playing right back. If they play Gravenberch, yeah, this is a weird thing about Wirtz, to be honest, because if you play Gravenberch and you play McAllister and Szoboszlai in front as like a 6 and 2/8, then I think that works quite nicely. But when you play like McAllister more as a 6 with Wirtz in front, because Wirtz drifts left a little bit, it's almost like Ekitike is coming into that space to create that sort of twin in the midfield when then there's nobody up front to actually then go beyond him and
Yeah.
basically
And
create
that,
anything. So I think the Szoboszlai right back experiment needs to disappear. Like I know obviously Frimpong's back now and Connor Bradley's now fit. So they should just correct that because I think that's a mistake.
I mean, it is interesting that Bradley comes on before Frimpong today.
I think was that I feel like that's
Uh,
fitness.
How many of these conversations can we have? How
Yeah.
many times can we say Szoboszlai's going to play? Nope, Szoboszlai's not going to play. Frimpong's number one. Bradley's going to play. No, Frimpong's number one. Like all evidence is there is that he doesn't
He's just come back
really.
from injury. He's played 59 minutes. He played 59 minutes before today. We don't know anything about Frimpong being number one or not.
Oh, well, we know that he hasn't had a good start to the season in all senses of the form. Like,
All sense, like it's been like 80 minutes on the pitch. That's not. Is it all
it,
sense of 80 minutes on the pitch apart from the non-league game where he actually scored a goal? Like you
it,
can't say that he hasn't had a good start of the season. I'm not
Frimpong's
letting
a
you have that at
problem.
all.
You
I'm
can't
not
you
letting you have
can't
that at all. You can't have it.
but you can't have that he's number one. He's not the number one right back. You're
He's
not number one right back until you're the number one right back, and he's
he
not
started.
like at
He
the
started
moment.
the first competitive game of the season. He scored a
Bradley was
goal.
injured. Bradley
He,
was
start,
injured.
he started the second game. He started the first
Yeah,
game of the league season, and then he got injured. And now he's back.
Bradley come on first. Like if he can play a half, he could play the half, mate. Like he could have played the half.
We'll see. I guess. I
Um,
guess. I guess that's it. I guess it's now we will see. I mean, like, I guess it's a point where we can't say he's number one in terms of actually picking him, but I still think he's number one.
I just think they've got options. They've got options, and they'll use them, and they've got multiple competitions. Like he's the opposite of nailed. He's very much a minutes risk. I don't think it's undeniable to say he is a minutes risk because fullbacks under look is Kirk a minutes risk? He is now.
Well, he is if he fucking falls over like he does. Like that's the only reason. I mean, like he only came off
Am was
because of that.
terrible.
Yeah, of course he was terrible, but he only came off because he dived and then made a stupid challenge, and then that was it. Like you couldn't take any more risk. Like there was, like, I can't risk this guy doing something stupid again because otherwise we're going to be down to 10 men, and that means we're
Yeah,
going to have to expend more energy before we play in the Champions League next week. And I still think we need 11 men to win this game.
yeah.
That
Well,
was the
it's
decision.
basically from a defense point of view. I'm saying if you're looking at it now,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah,
Virgil
yeah.
or no
Fine,
one.
fine. Yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Virgil or no one.
I'm with you on that.
But because of the makeup of these players, what I do think is so we're seeing in virtually every team now, and Arsenal really showed it a little bit this weekend with wingers that were looking to beat and press the crap out of their fullbacks. It is actually. I did think Forest had the ability to get forward against them occasionally, but because you're having to sort of like double team those guys out wide, it's hard to counter back the other way. But what you did see from Burnley here, the XG might not show it, but anyone who watched it saw maybe a dozen counters which just completely bypassed the whole of the Liverpool stack as easy as pie. They just weren't good enough, once they got into it, whether it's Foster, whether it's
Yeah, yeah,
Anthony, or those bits of it. They were so easy because you're playing wingers in Gakpo and Salah that aren't good 1v1. That's not their strength. They want to give and go, which actually then means you need two Liverpool players, not two. You can't leave them on their own, can you, to just beat someone? You actually didn't need to use other guys with them.
yeah,
But then because of that, it then becomes a little bit easier to sit in against them. So when you've got 6 or 7 of them, I thought Gakpo, how often did you see it when the ball's in the pitch and he actually was like just standing out the touchline? It felt reminiscent of like what we used to see with Son under Ange, and you were like, what an absolute waste of a player, like standing out there that isn't a 1v1 winger. Um, yeah, I do think it's a little easy to just sit in. Yes, will they eventually do something like this, get a penalty, do all that stuff? Yeah, but David Moyes will be thinking, brilliant, we could do that again next week.
yeah.
He has got Michael Keane. That doesn't help.
It doesn't help
Um,
matters. Yeah,
but
I get what you're saying about like the sort of the attacks fizzling out, the counters fizzling out. Felt very reminiscent of Ipswich last year, particularly in the early parts of the season. Like maybe it's
yeah,
something they'll work out. And obviously, this is like one of the toughest games they'll play this season. So that's
that,
going to
that,
be a factor.
I think what we were expecting at the start of the season was that Frimpong and Kirkes would provide that width. That meant if everyone else tucked in, those would be the guys that pinned them back. But you do then still have to ask yourself the question: if those guys were flying up there and everybody else is pinned, aren't you even more vulnerable to the counter? It's the bit that I don't fully get it. It's 12 points. Look, they'll be from
12
Liverpool's point of
points.
view, but we don't care whether Liverpool win or not. This is an FPL channel, and we're here to try and work through: are there players to pick from an FPL point perspective? I think it's becoming harder and harder to captain Mo every week. You can't just rely on penalties. Is the one way you're going to get it. Realistically, like he played Burnley today, he didn't really have a sniff.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely needs somebody who is going to go around the outside of him because it felt like there was a lot of pressure on him actually to take on his man and do the bits on the outside. And he's. Am I right in saying? Am I unfair in saying it feels like he's a clumsy dribbler? Like he's really
Yeah,
effective
yeah.
at it, but he's quite clumsy with it. So, and now a year older, I think people are definitely more wise to it. We don't see him doing so many take-ons, not from a standing start, like definitely not from a standing start.
It's
And
the
so
standing
and so
start
when you have
piece.
Soboslai right back, right, and okay, it can be Bradley or it can be Frimpong. Let's agree to disagree on that, but it has to be one of them to give them the width to allow
Mm,
him to come inside, and that's when he'll be better. So until they can work that out, I'm quite happy not having him in my team. But
yeah.
he might, you might just play Frimpong or Bradley next week, who might just have that width, and then Salah might score twice next week. In which case, fuck.
Mm.
For me, anyway.
I just think if they do use that, then yes, it could make them better. I Kirkis is probably the one that you question, isn't it? Because if if you just go to Robertson instead of Kirkis, well, Robertson, one of the issues of playing that a Frimpong, for example, or Bradley, because both of them like to fly, is 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 that you can't do it on both sides. Somebody's got to tuck in. So I look at the moment, I'm like, if I was slot right now, I'd just be like, Robbo, mate, you're back to starting. You're back to starting, and then I can try and unleash hell down that right hand side. and I can use Mo. The thing that I couldn't work out in that first half, it's like they've forgotten. It's like they've forgotten, or they're trying to pretend they're not particularly reliant on Mo Salah. Like last season, they just try and work it to Mo Salah all of the time. It was work it, work it, work it, give it to Mo, give it to Mo, give it to Mo, give it to Mo. There were so many instances where they could have been looking for Mo, and they were happy to take the shot. They were happy to push it to the left, and Gakpo would take. Gakpo took like 4 or 5 wild shots, cutting in from the left.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know like. I just feel like Slot needs to say, by the way, we need to be correct. Like we need to do better for him. There's nothing wrong with saying it. Like Pep says it. If they're not supporting Haaland well enough, he's like, they're not supporting well enough. I'll tell you exactly.
Yeah.
Like they need to. At the moment, they've got all of these incredible players. They're Galacticos, aren't they? Like as a team, they should be top of the league. They should walk the league with the amount of money they've spent. Um, but
It does feel
understand
like they've got
understand what the strength is.
yeah, and Nikolai's made a good point about Diaz being a miss. And I don't think it's necessarily Diaz as him, but it's that misbalance of player now because they had previously obviously they had Salah and then they had Diaz a couple of years ago, both very dribbly, and now what they've got is they've got Salah and Gakpo who are both more weapony. So it's kind of it's just they've just lost a bit of balance. Like Salah became more of a weapon and Diaz stayed dribbly and chaos, and that worked. Like that worked nicely.
And last
Isak
season
might
both
change everything as well though.
Diaz and Jota have both done the false nine incredibly well. With them is they play the nine, but they would drop deep when it was to link to allow the wingers to get in. But if the wingers were in a stable position, they'd stay in the box. Like Ekatike today, I felt Ekatike made big problems from that. And if you switch that with Isak, does everything just suddenly click? Because the players are too good for it not to click at some point.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it's tough. And Verts is a look. He's on limited minutes to an extent.
Go on, say problem. Go on, say problem. I know.
Well, he is a problem.
Yeah.
Because he's on limited minutes at the moment, and now we've got Europe kicking in. It's a matter of time before he doesn't play one game, isn't it? Like you say, if Frimpong and Bradley are fit, and they decide I don't need to play Szoboszlai there, there's just games where you don't need to play Szoboszlai and Verts.
Yeah.
It's going to happen at some point. So all of us with him, he is a problem. Like we're all thinking, I don't really want him from game week 6. It's maybe I'm fine with it this week.
Yeah, maybe. Let's move it on. We've just we're 40 minutes in, one game.
One
game.
Mate, there was there's a lot of games that were not a lot to talk about. I would say there's at the moment we've all got quite big money. We want to look at these big teams.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh,
and there are some good cheapies.
Yeah, well, this is the thing though, right? If Mo's not really the problem because he is still scoring points, and then are we going to go to City now?
Yes.
Haaland's definitely not the problem. Is the Mo and Haaland draft, is it just well and truly on? Because we can't stay much longer without Haaland. We can't. It's all funneling to him. It's just blatantly obvious. We talked on the Thursday night pod and said, do you know what's going to happen here is he's going to have 5 or 6 shots. He's going to have more than 1 XG, and that's going to be more than anybody else. And everybody else, well, guess what? He had 1.8 XG. He had 5 shots.
It's weird because I looked. So yeah, just after he'd scored his first goal, I had a look, thinking about what you'd said on Thursday. Literally had it in the back of my mind, and yeah, 1.09 XG was what I saw it as when I had a look. But yeah, I was just thinking, yep, you've absolutely called it. And the weird thing is there were, the cheap smashers have come in and smashed it. Apart from and Rangers should have done as well, in truth. But yeah, whether you're on Rangers, whether you're on Caicedo, or whether yeah, I mean there were a
Yeah.
few cheapos that smashed it.
He's so non-pen XG as we did last week. Let's just do it again. Let's just keep
Oh
reminding
God, yeah.
people. 4.87 now for the season. 4.87 non-pen XG. Let me give the list of teams that he's now got more than that. Wolves, Villa, Burnley, Sunderland, Leeds, Forest, Fulham, West Ham, Newcastle. Oh, Tottenham just beat him. More than Brentford, more than Brighton. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Again, Liverpool, even I haven't played Burnley today, have 5.49 non-pen XG and he has 4.87.
Do we need to wildcard him in game week 5? Like, is it
Well,
legitimately an
it's
option to get him in game week 5?
it's away at Arsenal, isn't it? So, um, if there's a week you can wait, it's this week. However, do you have Ollie Watkins?
Yes, and I hate him.
I have Ollie Watkins. What do you reckon the price swing on Haaland and Ollie Watkins is this week? It's going to be 0.2, isn't
Oh,
it?
point 2, point 3 maybe.
Yeah. It's still hard to get to Haaland, so whether it'll go all the way. I can't see Haaland doing a 0.2 rise in a week, but I could potentially see Watkins doing a 0.2 drop. Um, it's it's going to be a 0.2 swing, waiting another week.
Yeah, I'm just having a quick look to see. Yeah, not too many transfers out for Watkins so far. Like 60,000. More people are transferring out Wood ahead of. God, that's going to be interesting to talk about.
Well, this is what I'm saying is you've obviously, like I said, you free hit this week. You're coming back going, look at my Forest and Villa players, and I've got Forest and Villa players, but those guys that weren't free hitting and didn't have them, and there's a lot of people just gone, I don't back them to get better, even with good fixtures. We have to hope, we have to hope and trust that the fixtures are going to work out for us. But what we do know is, yeah, it doesn't seem to hugely matter with Haaland at the moment. He's getting all of the chances. Like he's getting, what is this? Like 70%. I think what I said about 70-80% of the XG will go to him this week. And guess what? About 70-80% of the XG went to him this week. It's feels pretty predictable. And obviously, if Rangers had tucked away that, it'd have been his assist as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it could have been absolutely monstrous haul.
Everybody who didn't own him today was over the moon when he went off with like 10 minutes to go because you were like, it's a matter of time.
Yes. I completely agree with that. I concur.
Um, so Haaland, if you can get him, you text me as soon as Phil scored.
Yeah, so calm down. Less. You hadn't read that message, and then you tweeted out saying the dream is alive.
Yeah,
I knew you were. I
I
knew you were
couldn't.
straight on it. You were straight on it. As soon as that went in, you were straight on FPL team. You're like, I'm putting him in. See what it looks like.
Yeah, I couldn't. I couldn't. I knew it. I've got this little hole of one free transfer here that I can use on using my team with about 9 million to spend, and it's basically Bruno or Foden. Like that's where it was. I'd actually looked at it for Marmoush. I've been looking at it for Marmoush, and obviously Marmoush gets injured, and now I'm like, well, why wouldn't it be Foden? Um, it could. It could be. It could be. There's a chance. There's a
It's
chance
annoying.
that.
It's annoying that we didn't have any more information or any kind of anything this season on Foden, because
Mm,
like legitimately good option for this week would have been.
yeah.
And I'm not. I am saying that in hindsight to an extent, but I think at the same time, if you look at it and you go, well, right, no Cherky, no Marmouche, like Haaland, so Foden is the guy, right?
Yeah,
It had to
we
be.
took there was quite a few predictions that had Bob and Doku out wide and Rangers up with Haaland.
Yeah.
And I did think, Rangers and Foden, they interchanged quite a lot. There was not much difference between the positions for those. There was quite a few times where they switched and one dropped in, one went further. Um, yeah, look, if Phil plays, he gets points. But It's whether you can predict he plays. Now you've got if he's all nice and fit, we'll probably see him in midweek, and then we'll probably see him again. Like if he starts against Arsenal at Arsenal, feels pretty green light. Feels pretty green light.
You're
Um,
excited.
but yeah, he's do still need Marmoush to be injured. Need that injury to be around for a few weeks, really. Um, I think the good part about City is they're relatively easy picks. I think we go to the other half of Manchester here. Um, if you if you were free hitting now, so you were very adamant. Bruno was the captain pick in game week 3. That's what it would be. That's what you'll be. I obviously went Cunha. If they had that game again and I was on free hit next week and it was there, I would 1,000,000% go on Bumo. Like Bumo could have got about 20 points today in a game where they were absolutely terrible.
I still
I
think
do.
I would. I still think just because routes to points, I think I would still just trust Bruno to get it,
It's only,
even
but
after
the
this
only thing
fixture.
he's got more routes to points. He, the only bit he's
I
got more
know.
routes to points is penalty, isn't it? It is just
Yeah,
penalty
it
because
is.
because
They've got three. They've got
Boomer
each side. They've got each corner, haven't they?
he, he takes more free kicks though. Bruno takes much more free kicks than Bruno does. Any dangerous free kick is Bruno. It's not Bruno. And then all the chances he's involved in all of them. So I think Bruno is a legitimate option. You know, for those that are looking at wildcard in this week, next few weeks, and forward, his minutes are absolutely nailed. We know he plays huge numbers, you know, in what he does. Um, yeah, I just every week he looks better in that shirt. Like the rest of the team, who bloody knows what's going on, but every time I watch him, he looks more and more like, yeah, look, even if the rest of the ship might be sinking a little bit, I'm not. I thought it was superb again today. I thought it really did.
And as you say, unlucky. I mean, Donnarumma makes a worldy save in
JC
particular.
says, don't forget the DEF cons.
Now, don't forget the Defcons. I mean, like, yeah, this is a difficult game. Well, could have been a
I
difficult
get
game for
It's saying
Bruno
about
to
the
get them.
Bruno versus Boomer. Well, yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Bruno's going to get them in more dominant games. He's going to get them in more dominant games because it's recoveries. When he's just in this,
yeah, but
ah,
not every game's going to be like this. So, you I still think I'd back Bruno.
I, I don't know. I don't know. I would. I don't know. I would. As a man that hasn't got it, you're never going to transfer Bruno to Bumo. But if I was wild carding and I was like, I'm having to make some compromises elsewhere, then
I
for that
think
little bit
Price,
cheaper,
yeah, I think Price probably pulls him closer in.
yeah, I say, just it. I think he's, I think he looks really good at the moment. So I'd be more than happy if I owned him. I wouldn't be looking to sell him. I think fixtures get better. Um, I think at some point, if I own Bruno, I do think there's a chance where I'd be like, oh, new toy. What can I do?
Yeah, and Ryan probably says it quite actually probably better than. So if you were on wild card, it'd probably be Bruno, but Bumo for the free hit. Yeah, okay, I can get behind that.
No, if I was on wildcard tomorrow, I'd put Bruno over Bruno.
Okay.
1,000,000%. I would happily all day long be on Bruno right now.
I'd find reasons to have neither.
I'd probably find reasons to have yeah, neither. But like 8.1 versus 9.0 is quite a lot. 8.1 I can stomach, that stuff, but not so much.
I think I'd probably prefer Eze.
Look, either way, either way, 16 points in 4 game weeks. It's not enough.
Yeah,
It's not enough, is it? It's not enough. Not enough for those for those type of players. You need it. you need more. You need more than that. If I mention that James Garner at Everton's got 21 points. Yeah, Cullen at Burnley's got 23 points.
And
Yeah.
Cullen's got 23 points and he scored an own goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it's not enough. Like Xhaka has already got as many points as Bruno Fernandes this season.
Is he just racking up? He must
Caicedo.
be just racking up
Like if you want
Caicedo.
DEFCON,
Yeah, just get
yeah,
Caicedo.
let's do that. Let's go to Chelsea.
Yeah.
Because like, is he just a sneaky pick?
Like, is
He
he
got
just.
5 goals last season. He got 5 goals.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you could just pair him up with Enzo and just leave those two cheap guys alone and just let them just run.
But Enzo's a bit more. Like he's only 5.5.
Yeah, yeah. What's Enzo? 6.5.
Yeah, but Enzo doesn't start at 4 points. This guy starts at 4 points. Starts every game at 4 points and occasionally scores. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to work through it. My brain would never let me pick Caicedo as a pick. I'm pretty sure of it. But should I? Like
Well, we spoke
when
about
you're
this.
looking at the Andersons, you're thinking maybe he'll get the DEFCON, maybe he won't. And I thought Anderson was brilliant when we get to the Arsenal game. I thought he was excellent again. When we're looking at Paqueta, and you're like, well, if he gets a pen, I'm in. He might get the DEFCON, but I'm like, if you're going to go the cheapie, and one of the things you're thinking is that he might get DEFCON, then I think I'll probably just lean into
The guy that
what
does, the guy that will get DEFCON.
the guy that does. It's a bit like it's very similar to Anderson, to Tarko. Like we said, oh yeah, Tarko's got the DEFCON. I said, yep. Yeah, you're happy to
Yeah,
pay 5.5, aren't you?
Tarko was such an obvious pick this week as well. Seems really weird.
So obvious.
Hmm.
Again, if you were looking to save money, there's no game where you couldn't start him. Just be like, yep, stick Caicedo out.
But then you wouldn't have to start him on every game, but you'd have to find a good reason not to, wouldn't you? Like, I don't think I would start him every game, but I'd always feel fine having him there.
Oh,
Like you could literally just have him in your squad and then play him when you're not chasing upside, almost when you have him as a shield or a foundation pick in your team. Just assume he's going to get 4 points and move on. But forever, whatever happens, we're always going to look for guys that are going to score or assist.
but last season, I think there was something like 2 defenders that would have beaten Caicedo. And
now he's better. Yeah, okay.
and well, no, with the DEFCON added,
Oh,
with the
sorry.
DEFCON
Okay.
when they did the DEFCON added, I think there was like 2 defenders, maybe 3, 4. Yeah, because Tarko went up quite a bit. Morello and Milenkovic. I think it was those 3 that I think ended up with more than him. But it was like 150 odd points. 150 odd points is like fantastic for a defender. Just maybe we should consider it. We're probably not because we're going to want Palmer and we like João Pedro, and you're like, oh, I can't have triple Chelsea attack every week. That's weird.
But
But
he's not triple Chelsea attack, is he? Well, I suppose he is.
I think I'd have him. I think I'd like to play him over like a fourth defender though, most weeks.
It's like getting your 4-4-2, or it's like getting your 4-4-2 without it actually being a 4-4-2.
Yeah, it's like
You
a
like
Fugazi
sneaking,
4-4-2.
yeah. You
Yeah,
like
yeah.
sneaking him in as a 3-4-3, and you're like, oh, this is nice. I like this. And
Anyway,
it's actually a 4-3-3.
let's come back to the game because Brentford did some Brentford things. They were good on set pieces, and the chances they created were large.
Yeah,
I think maybe it's settling down at Brentford. I think I was a little worried for them at the start of the season that like maybe Brentford in a relegation battle and all those things, new manager, but I think I can see it. They've got relative calm. If I was a Brentford fan, I would think some order has restored to my team. They did this without Damsgaard as well. And Dango's on the bench, which isn't ideal. I think there's a lot of people looking at him. He's very cheap. Um, and but Sharda did the kind of Bumo thing that we've seen of the, oh, you're now going to go play joint forward with Thiago, like Bumo used to when they would set up in this um, type of formation. And both Sharda and Thiago, I'm impressed with Thiago. That thing I joked a lot about. No one's seen what he looks like, any of that stuff. But um, when it does look like he's a lot of work, but not a lot of play. Like I don't think he had a shot.
No, like he did a few nice little hold up bits. I think it like 1-1 before Caicedo scored.
A great touch on it for the Charlotte chance, yeah.
Yes,
Um,
but
but
my only concern, I mean, there's no picks in Brentford at the moment though.
Charlotte's too
That's
expensive.
yeah.
Charlotte's too expensive.
And until like Dango or Thiago are playing all the minutes,
mm.
and we know exactly what we're expecting from them, I still feel like they're just a swerve.
We have gained some learn. So João Pedro, Maresca's saying a lot basically that João Pedro isn't a nine, effectively. He keeps telling us that. He also has told us that João Pedro had asked him not to play this game, which is interesting. But it was like, tough mate, you got to play it. But what we might see here, there might be some evidence that we know that Pedro would have been in the 10 behind Delap before Delap got injured. That's where it was. Maybe they're clever enough that they can use both Palmer and Pedro centrally, and we can see some kind of altering. Because what I'm seeing, the reason why Pedro got two bonus here is because he's such a good player. Like it's not it's not fugazi stuff. It is what it is that he's doing loads of incredible all-round work. But what you'll notice if anyone watches in build up, he's very rarely in the box waiting. He likes to time his run, which means he's very comfortable on the ball. So what he'll do is it's just sneaky. Is he'll often
Yeah.
be like 25 yards out, somebody else is already in the box, and he will make that run late. Um, and then obviously he's good in the air. They do lots of set pieces. That's a good route to points. But the guys around him, we've just seen this. I mean, knockdown is relatively. I can't really work out if he meant it or not. The sort of knockdown. Obviously, he's trying to
No,
get up to do it, but it's like,
no. It comes off of Aya's head or something like that first.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think it's deliberate.
But I guess that's what he would have been wanting to do. I don't think what he did. That was what he would have been trying to do. Would have probably been to knock it down. He just got it in a fortuitous way.
Maybe.
He lost the header, but that's what he would have done, wouldn't he? If he'd won the header, he still would have knocked it down.
He would have
He would
tried
have
to,
shot.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, he wouldn't have shot.
Um,
Execution might have
but
been different. But
but Palmer then can get a lot closer to him to be there for those things. And what we saw was it 5 shots? I think Palmer had when he came on. Um, the the second big chance that Palmer had, like Neto gets all the credit for that. There was like, even the commentators like clever pass. All credit should go to Pedro on that. It was genuinely like rugby league style of how he did it. Was that basically you keep the line, and if you just watch a replay, watch how many times he looks over to Palmer, looks over to Palmer. He literally diagonally lined himself up between the two of them,
so
and then at the last minute accelerates,
yeah.
takes the
So
defender out.
yeah. So
Brilliant.
the pass is aimed at Pedro with pace. Pedro just runs away from it, and guess what?
Yeah.
It's just there for Palmer. It's a ridiculous save by Kelleher though.
Ridiculous save by Keller. But
He made some great saves.
all of it says it's good for Palmer. If Palmer's okay, and he wasn't running like he had hamstring problems, was he, or anything like that? Like he seemed fine. Like you still got him, haven't you? You still got Palmer, haven't you?
I've still got Palmer. Yeah, I'm not going to be moving him on now,
No.
unless he's for whatever reason he's dead. Or
I think a lot of us are going to be thinking, how do we get him back ASAP?
yeah,
And the obvious choice for most people is going to be it gets you, if you sell Mo to Haaland, then it probably gets you a Watkins um to Haaland. Watkins to
so
Haaland.
sorry, say that again.
So if you go Mo to Palmer,
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah,
then most people can do Watkins to Haaland because most people have got a few million quid laying around because they took Palmer out in the first place.
yeah, yeah. True.
That's the non-chippers. Sigurd said it was a groin problem for Palmer. Same deal, mate. Like effectively, does he look like he's uncomfortable? Does he look like he's running weird? No. Um, I'm cool with that.
Okay, let's go to Arsenal.
What did you think of Arsenal?
I was going to say shit because of the song, but um, I thought that Eze and Madueke were phenomenal. Like
Yeah,
they were just ridiculous every single time either one of those got the ball. It was a big problem for Forest, and I think their attack. I mean, it's evidenced here, but their attack was measurably better with those two guys playing. I also think it's in obviously Saka is going to come back at some point, and it does feel like Madueke's saying to Arteta, you don't need to rush him back, and two, once he's back, I'm going to tell you that you can start me.
exactly.
You can start me. Like I'm here, and it was interesting. It felt quite obvious, but interesting his interview as well after the game. It's just was like this is the one way I know how to play. It's direct. It's aggressive, and I'm looking for teammates, and I'm looking to support, and I'm looking to, which actually sounds a bit weird given that all he does is shoot. But he,
But did you not think there was a few times there was like one where he sort of delayed it and then played the ball through, was it through to Timber maybe? Who put the ball across that Rice just couldn't quite get to.
mm,
But he checked his run and then played a guy through. I was like, oh, there was I almost feel like there was some evidence that Arteta's worked with this.
actually coached him.
On yes, don't always put your head down and shoot. Like so, yes, get to the byline, yes, do the stuff. But even like you say, the choice of words of saying I look for my teammates, you're like, that
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
interesting.
No
Um,
shots as well yesterday. No
no shots
shots.
and some pretty good corners from Madueke.
Yeah,
All in all I did take away from it is what we end up with is Gyökeres becomes very similar to what we expect of Haaland to an extent, in that Gyökeres is, uh, I don't think he's a particularly good player, but I don't think Haaland's like the world's best player either. Don't think that's any kind of secret, and in that sense. But what you want him is to be calm in front of the goal, and what you want him to do is be in the right space. And for his goal, that's exactly what we saw from him.
yeah, yeah.
I think what you're going to find is as they've got Eze, Trossard, Martinelli, Madueke, and Saka, you've now got five players that can play on the wings to continually serve him. Then he's going to get service like this every game. He's going to get some big chances every single game. It would not surprise me if he scores every single game he plays. You can see why he scored so many goals. The difference, I think, from him to Haaland is two things. One is that if he's not playing all of the minutes, that immediately, even if you take, say, let's just say there's Haaland, and let's just say Gyökeres is 70% as good as Haaland. So you've taken a 30% drop just based on that. Then you say, well, okay, he also only plays maybe 80% of the minutes that Haaland plays. Then suddenly he's dropping down to the sort of 60, 50% of what you think of him as Haaland as a pick. Then the other issue is that they're going to keep more clean sheets than Man City will. Like Man City still conceded 1.5 XG to Man United today. is Arsenal conceded 0.2 xg, and their defenders look like they're going to score every single game. Like it's really hard for them to not have a defender score. Like was odd almost that he didn't have one score. Like Calafiori and Timber could have had like 3 goals in the first half. Sneaky good at the near post. Sneaky good at the near post, Timber. Um, then you've got Gabriel. When Saliba comes back, he's good on bones. Mosquera, I thought was brilliant. Um, and Raya will get points. And then you're like, so what he has to then do is he has to brace
Yeah.
because his job is just to put the ball in the net, isn't it? I thought actually Gyökeres was pretty good at pressing. He reminded me of like when KDB would play false nine as like a presser, in that he's just a really big guy and just gets in the way effectively. Not the quickest guy in the world, but doesn't really have to be. Just has to try and cut the passing lane. But I thought he did that pretty well as a line leader. Um, but he's going to need to brace, isn't he, to get cleaned? Or he's going to
Yeah.
need Arsenal to
Yeah.
concede.
Yeah.
He's going to need to score winning goals when they concede. That will get him bonus. Or he's going to need to brace. And he's going to need to hope that the defenders don't score. And therefore,
I mean, when you put him up against, when you put him up against, let's call him last year's Ollie Watkins and
I don't
players of
I don't
those.
think that's close to you. I feel like if you offer me now, even last year Ollie Watkins, I mean definitely this year's Ollie Watkins, I'd have Gyökeres over him all day long.
Yeah. Of course. But
But
I'm saying for 9 million, do you want a guy that's going to get 6 or
you
two,
don't want
two
six
or
point goals,
six,
do you?
2, 6 or 13? Like it's 2, 6 or 13. Like that second goal is huge.
Yeah, that one that hit the
Hit the
hit
post.
the hit the post goes in. It's 13 pointer.
Yeah, he's done.
Um, and he will get some 13 pointers. He will get some braces because they will carve some teams open. Um, but am I 100% convinced that he's worth 9 million? Yeah, I'm still not 100% convinced. You're probably happy if you own him right now because the competition's not scoring. That's that's the issue. There's only really João Pedro that's churning them out.
It's true. It's true. I mean, you're going to definitely. I mean, like, I think it would be stupid not to have him in 7 onwards for West Ham, Fulham, Palace, Burnley, Sunderland. I think it'd be a mistake not to have him there.
I think most
But
people will.
there's also a big guy playing for Newcastle who's just scored a goal, and their fixtures are okay.
Do you want to talk about him?
I mean, I first of all want to talk about the match of the day interview. To be honest,
They must have done that on purpose.
it's so stupid. It's
Because it
so
wasn't just but I was like, we've never seen the top of it. We've never seen the ceiling. We've
you
never
can
seen
see
the top bit.
it's like yellow and orange. It was like leaking. You can
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
there's
yeah,
been
yeah,
you can
yeah.
tell there's been a leak there recently.
I was like, this feels like
You feel like you've
that.
dashed some kids' dreams as well. They're like, look at this, and they see all the sponsor things, and they think this is his nicest little room, and then
It was
you
like
get
a
the
boot cup. Yeah, yeah,
then you
yeah.
get the realization that it is actually like a meter squared,
Yeah.
like
Just stuck
just little
some stuff up.
backdrop. It's not
Yeah,
actually like everywhere. It is just a little media spot.
yeah, it is. If anyone hasn't seen it, go watch Match of the Day and watch the interview with Volt Voltamada. I feel like I
But
can't say it without making it sound like Dracula. It's like type Transylvania. Um,
but yeah, I mean, when you've got a weapon like that, I think the best thing you can do is put it in the air to him. It
what did he get? One headed goal last season? All
I have no
season.
idea.
One
Was it
headed goal
only
last
one
season.
headed goal last season?
One headed goal last
Did they
season.
not cross it to
Cool.
him enough? Because like he's 6'5" and that header was outstanding.
It's just it just seems very odd, doesn't it? You're like, oh, this guy is sick. Oh God, he's going to score a crap load of headers. How many headers did you get last week? I mean, Zubimendi's got 9 career goals, gets a brace. Um, and yeah, there's this guy here. He's massive, really good in the air, scores a great header. One headed goal last season.
But also
They'll
great
cross more.
Yeah, they will cross more, and they've got the players to cross, right? So whether you're looking at Trippier on the right, Hall on the left, and
Jacob Murphy, though. We're going to
Murphy.
come back to the Jacob Murphy situation, I think, all over again of last season, that he's a phenomenal crosser. If you 100% knew that Jacob Murphy was starting, because we had all this issue with team leagues, yeah, I would have think I would have picked him on on free hit, and he could have had a lot of points. Um, but he's going to be. You feel like he was limited minutes last season. He's going to be even more limited minutes this season. So I just don't think Jacob Murphy is a pick in FPL. But if you got, like you say, Hall, Trippier, Murphy, and then Gordon comes in, and if Wissa is out for a considerable period of time, I know
Yeah,
they've
the
said it's
minutes are all
not.
his.
Yeah, I mean he's going to be 5 6 weeks, but then he's still not. One, he's not had a pre-season. They've just seen what's happened. Man's not had a pre-season, plays an international, knee collapses. So they're going to be really nervous with it. Um, but what they might have to do is only play him like 70 minutes or so every week because they're going to need him in Europe. They're going to need him on the weekends. They're just going to need him as much as physically possible, which might not mean that we start to see 90 from him. So I don't think if I was wildcarding today, I'd have him in my team, but I'd be tempted. I'd be real tempted.
Fixtures are good. Fixtures are
Are they
good over the
good?
next. They're absolutely fine, man. They're Bournemouth, okay. Arsenal away, then Forest, Brighton, Fulham, West Ham, Brentford. I think that's absolutely fine. I think that's
Feels okay.
absolutely fine. It
Would
feels
you have
okay
him?
when we're looking at. Well, I mean, I'd have him over Watkins.
Well, you'd have him over what we'd have anyone. Would you have him over Watkins to the next two though? If you're wild carding straight away,
Yeah, because I'd have him. Well, yeah, because I'd have him. I'd have him for the game against Villa. Oh no, sorry, that's Bournemouth. I'm looking at wrong fixtures.
Bournemouth,
Um,
Bournemouth and Arsenal.
Probably not the next two.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think it's one where if you're thinking of wild card in game week 7 and those sort of stuff, this is a good tick to go. Okay, if I'm planning a wild card in a few
Audition time.
weeks, this is I can see this progress the next few weeks, but it looks promising. Um, Wolves, I do think Wolves were unlucky. I know you saw Pereira, but he was obviously moaning that they got like 4 yellows and they were all like first challenges and stuff like that. And I think that's pretty fair. Is they had their chances. Like Rodrigo Gomez is a defender in the game. Like two or three very, very good chances. Um, we're not picking a Wolves defender, but it's going to be difficult to do those things, isn't it? Like if Ain't Nori of last season was 4.5, 5 million and playing at Wolves, would you pick him again this season? I don't know that I would. I think there's all these DEFCON guys where I'll be like, nah, I don't think I'll bother.
Yeah, I just don't. There wasn't. Yeah, because there's not enough. There's not enough output
So it
from
just,
him to justify it.
so it just closes down so many options. We're starting to close down so
We're
many of these
closing
fallback
down.
options
Yeah, fullbacks from middling teams for sure.
for sure, for
Middling and
sure.
down, just
And
gone pretty
even in
much.
big teams, they've got to be like an incredible weapon.
Well, I want to move to Spurs next, but Porro is just he's
Well,
Porro and Spence are not the defenders of choice, are they?
we've virtually already done an hour. So from
It's,
Newcastle, you're man marking, looking at Voltamada, and you're not looking at anything else really in that. Um, yeah, let's go to Spurs because
I say it'd just be
Porro's.
interesting to see on minutes. You're right. On minutes, how Gordon will impact. Like, will he impact like Harvey Barnes, or does Harvey Barnes go over to the right and then Murphy's then out? Or so I guess it's just with those, it's just kind of you can't pick any of those. Wait and see.
No. Oh,
Um,
Alanga couldn't have been going there thinking I'm just going to be a bit part player, but
well,
it
yeah,
kind
even
of
that.
is. Kind of
Yeah, I
is.
didn't even mention him just then. And then defense for Newcastle. There's nothing yet to say that you want to pick a defender from Newcastle. I had one on a free hit because good fixture, but
Mm.
that's it really. But yeah, I mean, over to Spurs. So obviously this was
Um, I did need to do one more Voltamada only because Danny told me he was listening on the radio, and the radio referred to Voltamada as having Big Nick energy,
Big Nick energy.
not Big Dick energy, Big Nick energy.
On to
The
Spurs.
bit, the BNE, the BNE. That's what we can call him. Um,
BNE.
on the Spurs, Porro's lost his set pieces.
Lost them all.
Porro's lost them all. Got nothing now.
Yeah.
Done. So he has the least chance of well, he's not taking set pieces. He's got the least chance of bonus. He probably has the least chance of goals now because our set pieces are so kudos, and Simon's is corners were unbelievable. Like this is the best I've ever known him. Like we used to moan about Eriksen's corners for years, and everybody else loves Ericsson corners, but we hated them. They've never been corner. Well, I have never in I don't think my lifetime seen corners as good as the corners that we are currently doing.
Delivery is great, but I think also the organization used to be kind of three guys line up on the edge of the box, and then we'll kind of just move into the box like everybody does, like we did when we were 12 years old, and we did when we were 18, and we're doing it now because this is all we know. And
Mm.
now, you know, I think it's reasonable to say we've adopted a bit of some of the movement that we've seen with Arsenal, like in terms of Arsenal set pieces. We've adopted some of that movement. There's a lot more pressure now on the keeper, and there's just a lot more.
Huge.
There's a lot more issues for the defending team to deal with. Now, we should caveat that West Ham are the worst team at set pieces in the league. That helps. That
They
helps.
are.
That helps.
Yeah, I
But
mean they were pretty bad against Chelsea and they were bad against us.
yeah,
Definitely.
well, I mean, look, if you leave a guy on the back post on his own and just let him head the ball in, then you're a bad team.
I do have a little bit of I think that undersells Tottenham that like everyone's gone, oh, we left him. So we had six players in there and they had relatively zonal marking and they had three men across the front post, which is standard. If you go watch a replay of virtually every single team, everyone puts three men on the set on that. Now, what we did, which was clever, is we didn't put a single person on front post, not one person on front post, but we put six people on back post. Now, if five move forward,
Everything shifts forward with it.
that it's impossible. It's impossible to mark that sixth man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's clever. It's NFL style. What do I do? I have. I've, what have I got? I've got my offensive line that are just going to take that space, and then
That's
I'm going to have the delivery to get to it. I think that is it looks one of the beauties of incredible set plays is that it makes the other team look so bad. It will happen again. We've seen Gabriel, for example, Arsenal. You're like, how are people not marking him? How are people not doing this? Like, it's like, guess what? It's all well rehearsed stuff. Is I tweeted this morning like Exhibit B because if you watch when I tweeted about Xavi Simons and you watch the first clip that I shared on my tweet of where I said Porro's going to lose his set pieces because look how good this delivery is. It's the same corner, it's the same routine. It just landed low enough that the guy volleyed it in, but it's exactly the same routine. So it's like almost not only have we got a set piece, Xavi's probably brought that one with him. Said, look, guys, look how far I can hit the ball. Because what I find really interesting is he actually hit it with so much power, so much bang, that Bowen on the near post went for the header.
I did not see that.
Which he actually jumps to try and get
I
to it.
need to watch it back.
I'm like, he actually sort of like they all sort of like move for it, and that's when you know someone's hit it at so much pace that they haven't realised it's not even in their remit. They sort of go for it. Those three guys that are standing at the back. We're going to score a lot of set piece goals, which makes Romero and Van der like the joke is on Van der Ven is that he was 4.5, and everyone was like, "Well, I'll get him. He'll be good." And he's an appalling header of a footballer, but he's scoring goals because guess what? If he stays up there long enough, what he is a really good footballer.
Yeah.
Like that finishes with his wrong foot.
Yeah, right foot. And
His right foot
it was quite
drilled it.
deliberate. Yeah, it was quite deliberate, I think, as well, that Frank obviously, because there was, you want to talk about getting back into defensive positions. He had like zero interest. He knew that ball was going to be recycled back into the box at some point. I guess he was expecting it in the air. I mean, the amount of crosses, I think we had like 21 crosses in that first half. I don't know whether that included corners, but just the volume of stuff in the air was mad. And yeah, for him to stay up there, and he just basically just casually like just stayed off it. The Bergvall touch, I mean, it's a bad touch. I don't think
Yeah,
I
that
don't
was
think
bad
anybody
touch.
mentioned that. It was just a terrible touch.
No. And he just
It
snatched
just
it.
fell to him and just snatched
I love
at it
that.
and was quality. But I think it was so evident that that was the way we were going to play.
Yeah.
Because if you looked at, obviously we start with Tell up top, and when you consider the volume of crosses that we had, he's not the guy that's going to head the ball in the back of the net. Like he's not. He ran around and he was a body in there, but he just looked like he was there sort of deputizing for someone. And the plan was to win corners, to win set pieces. I even recall, I think it was either Spence or Udogi. I don't know whether he'd been brought off at that point, but deliberately going down the wing with the opportunity to then take his man on or to try and cross it in, deliberately just kicked it against the defender just to get the corner.
Yes.
Just like, oh, I'm just going to get a corner. That's perfect.
Once you know you're brilliant at them, guess what? You get more of them. Like
Yeah.
again, we're just copying Arsenal here, but this is what they do. They get more corners. Guess what? Because they want the corners. Like is even the throws. We want the throws. We want all of those things. We're going to be that team, and therefore you want the guys that are going to get at the end of it. And Van der Ven, or, like I say, I think rarely would he be the primary target. We should mention on this that obviously Romero should have had a goal, like clearly should have had a goal. Also, Van der Ven could have had an assist for a penalty.
Oh, like 2 minutes
And
later.
2 minutes later. So one of those two things should have happened, basically. But Romero's had a haul here with top bonus and an assist. But you add 6 points onto this, and holy shit. It's massive. Or you add an assist onto Van der Ven, and then he probably gets top bonus himself. And again, but like Tottenham now have defenders that are capable of 15-point games. And it feels the least likely that it will be Porro. Should you transfer Porro? I don't think you should. Should you, if you were wildcarding, would you go near Porro? Absolutely not.
I think you can transfer Porro.
Do
I think
you?
I think you can transfer Porro because I think there's a million there you can do a lot more with.
And would you transfer him to another Spurs guy?
Yeah, probably. I could do it. Yeah,
Because our
I
fixtures
can
are
see that
good
happening.
for some while. He's not your problem, is he? Like he's still chugging out points.
Yeah. Like he's not like okay, he's not a priority transfer. I wouldn't be making that move unless it felt like luxury. But
Mm.
I can justify it. Yeah, I can justify it for sure. I can.
27 points each from the two centre backs, 21
Just
points from
nuts,
Porro.
isn't it?
So, like, just all three of them
Just
over
like
20 points.
just like full stop Spurs defenders is just crazy. Obviously, we've
Yeah,
conceded one goal so far. That's it.
just remember going back to, but I'll go back to the Bruno one. I'll say 9 million again. Is there's what's he
I mean,
wouldn't make the first page of defenders now.
well, Porro, you just
Um,
get Tarkovsky, right? Wouldn't you just get Tarkovsky and just move on?
yeah. Tarko's still only got 2 more points than Porro. Like, Porro has done okay, and the fixtures are still good for a while. I don't think he's a priority to get rid of, but no circumstance. I would just go Mickey, I think. Well, would I go Vic? So Mickey's going to get another price rise, and that's definitely going to happen. He's 30% owned. 30% owned in the entire game. And so therefore, because he's 30% owned in every game, whatever position you are in the rank, he actually just keeps going higher. Like we're sitting around 4 million, he's 30% owned at that rank. Actually, if you go up to the top 1 million, he's like 60% owned because guess what? Players that score points are in those teams, that are high in the
Yeah,
rankings.
yeah, yeah.
Um, you said it earlier today. We've got a little Spurs group of mates. They're all
With
beating us because
well, I
guess
say
what?
that they've all got Van der Ven.
They've all got Van der Ven and Porro. They've got both. 48 points for the pair of them.
Yeah, and Javi.
Um, uh, People are going to ask us. So, what did you make of Sherry?
I thought he was wonderful. To be honest, I really enjoyed in the first half. Like the output seemed very focused on set pieces, obviously, but I thought that he was comfortable on the ball, in possession, moving forward, creating opportunities to move the ball forward well.
Hmm.
I felt like the guys with him at the time weren't quite. It felt like he wasn't. They weren't at his level almost.
Yeah,
And I think that in time, the players will catch up to that, and I think he'll be an extremely useful asset because what it will do is it will give him more opportunities to create open play assists, and it will give him more opportunities to, play these combinations with Richarlison and with Solanke and with the guys either side of him. I think he'll continue in like a 10 role. I would also like to see him with Brennan Johnson at some point and see how he can, unlock him even more
yeah,
so. But like SARS started fantastically, so it's like each player is giving giving a reason to Frank to play him at the moment.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't think anybody's giving him a reason to be benched.
1,000,000%. I feel that's exactly how I feel with it. As I fully expect his future to be in the middle. I fully expect it. I think it's incredible that we were able to not just chuck him in the middle. His Bergvall and Saar did. I thought they're just really good players. And obviously Bergvall's only going to get better. The header was just
Stupid.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Stupid good.
Stupid.
Stupid
But
good.
you
It was so good. It kind of went in. I
eighteen-year-old
was like,
kids
oh my
doing that
god.
sort of stuff. You're like, yeah, yeah. Uh, if you've got Brennan, you sell him. You sell him
Yeah.
now. You sell him now because as much as if he played with Xavi, it'd be fantastic for Brennan. You just can't trust those minutes. You've got a midweek game against Villarreal, so watch that. Let's see where we play the players then. Um, Richarlison not playing, weird, but I guess tired.
Tired. Yeah, I
Um,
just think that's travel. I just think that's travel with a game coming up on Tuesday, right?
you'd think so. You'd think so. Colin Moana doesn't even come on, so therefore that suggests that he's got some way to go.
Again, hasn't played since Club World Cup.
Carabao on it. It'd be use a Carabao, get them up to speed. But they're gradually going to introduce more and more minutes for these guys. But we've got we know how hard it was to actually fulfill squad numbers. Like we've had to keep people out of things. That means that there is competition for places. I do think Xavi therefore is the one if you're going there because he's our best 10 and he's our best left winger. Whichever one he's going to do is fine, and he'll just shit points through set pieces. If he plays centrally, I would not be surprised to see him hit DEFCON. We've seen a Foden hit DEFCON today. Lots of recoveries. I think in games at home, if we're really dominant in what we're seeing, obviously we had a 60% possession in this, but it's hard to win the ball off of West Ham because they're not trying to transition you that often to win it back and go and turn things around. I think teams at
Well,
home that decide to come at us.
at the same time, a lot of the clearances from West Ham came from set pieces of which Xavi was taking, so he's not going to be the guy recovering them, right?
Exactly.
In that situation.
Exactly. But and then you've got Kudus. Look, what we are seeing with Kudus is I still could think I've got a bit of a blind spot there. Normally I would be just all in, and I'm really seeing him as really incredibly important. I do think because he's really incredibly important, I've really wanted to. I've wanted to see him play 90 minutes. The first time he's played 90 minutes, that's good, albeit it was against the old team. I doubt they'd have wanted to take him off to see the. Mind you, there was no one there if they'd taken him off, so it wouldn't have been too bad a reception. But if you've got him, he's corners look incredible. He will continue to do stuff, and he should have scored at the end. Look at those. That all that bit at the end was two chances of his. He's done that repeatedly in the Burnley game. He went into the middle right near the end, and he just failed to connect with one. Um, goals are going to come for him, and assists would just chug out.
Yeah, I mean, it was desperate. I mean, like Hermanson basically guaranteeing a statue with his save
Mm.
at the end there.
And
Good save.
obviously, he should have had the assist for the Romero goal.
Yes.
That got rolled out. So, but like, I think Kudos is a fine pick. Um, I just think Simons I like a little bit better, but I feel the same way about Romero, don't you? I still think I would go Romero over Van der Ven if I was picking one.
You've seen what Romero can do. He can be the target. He will be a target at set pieces, but he also does have in his locker that that quarterback ball that
Yeah,
will
and
just
he's so good on bonus, and he's the most likely to get Defcon.
yeah yeah.
Um, I yeah, if it were me, in terms of assets for Tottenham, Romero would be number one for me right now that you could pick. Simons would be next. Simons and Van der Ven would be like a joint. Then I'd go Kudos, but Porro would be way behind. Vicario, again, find it hard to see that he would get the bonus because when you've got a set piece team, it's hardly ever the keeper that gets the bonus. We've seen that with Raya. You know, it's you need really specific set of things to happen to be able to get it.
Yeah. Spurs won. It's all good.
Spurs 1-3 now. If you've got any West Ham guys, Bowen.
Paqueta, like now, how do you feel about Paqueta?
When did he go from being Paqueta to Paquetá to back to Paqueta again?
Don't know. When we all decided.
It's gone back again though. You see me? I mean, remember last season? I'm sure last season everyone decided to call him Paquetá.
Paquetá.
Yeah, we've gone back to Paqueta. I've noticed. Obviously he could have scored in first half. That big chance is his. Um, he did that quite a bit. Played quite a bit of in that sort of central, almost false line. And it's how can you judge them for the last half hour and they've got 10 men? But maybe he goes a bit even more deeper if Souček's not around.
Yeah, maybe.
What you're actually really probably wanting is Potter gets a sack and then maybe somebody else is more expensive if you're own Paqueta already.
Okay. 4 more fixtures. We can fly through them. Well, let's talk Bournemouth first.
What about when he took the penalty?
Again, nervous. I was like, when I saw it come up, I was like, really? Because I was surprised.
Well,
Just didn't expect him to take it. I just assumed that Evan Nilsson would just take it. No?
I haven't been able. There's two people about penalties. I haven't been able to lose something I've thought about was obviously Rodgers when he took the one for the under 21s, did the Cole Palmer celebration. It was a good pen. I was like, okay, well at some point he's going to be a penalty taker. And Semenyo when he took the one in the cup game last season where he sort of walks back from the ball quite slowly away from the ball, turns around, run a million miles an hour, bangs it, and you were like,
Yeah.
whoa, that's a penalty taker of a guy that likes taking penalties. You just had that feeling that this is a guy that likes it. So it's been constantly there that potentially he could be a penalty taker. Evan Nilsson seems more concerned with winning them. And it's strangely, when it was Evan Nilsson that got fouled, I almost feel like Evan Nilsson's like, yeah, you take that, mate. You take that. I've got my assist. I've got my assist here.
But I think it's just bizarre because the penalty you've just spoken about, right?
Yeah.
So there's this one, and then there's the penalty you've just spoken about. They're the only 2 penalties he's ever taken.
But he looked good at it. It looked like something about it looked there. And then this one, I found that the preamble fascinating for Semenyo to an extent that I actually might be bold enough to say I think he's just on him, including if Kluivert's back. I think he might just be on him. because they stood around for a bit. He puts the ball down on he puts the ball down on the spot, and he's sort of kicking it about a little bit, like he's kicking it about, but he's laughing and smiling. Like it was weird. He was laughing and smiling so much that I assumed he was going to hand it over. Now, I don't know once you put it down if you were moving it around with your feet or not. Can you pick it back up at that point, or is that have you gone too far by that point? Once you put it down, is that it? You know. But in my
You're the guy.
brain, he was joking around so much that I was like, nobody. Like he was really like he was trying to fight back the smile. You watched his face before it. He's
Well, no,
like really,
that he's been given the pens, and now he's got one, and he gets to actually enjoy the whole moment
yeah. It was.
type
It's
thing.
like he was like he properly was enjoying himself, waiting for it, and those things. And I was like, is this guy for real? Like I said, he's not on pens, and suddenly he's now got this, and he's just like, yeah, smiling, smiling, smiling. And then obviously the next part that I like, the keeper,
Goes flying right, like he expects him to smash this bottom left.
which is what he did in his only pen he's ever taken.
Yeah,
And I'm like, well, that's clever. And because I'm like, did Semenyo just think, is he laughing? Because he's almost thinking this guy's gonna go. I've only ever taken one. He's gonna go there, and I'm just gonna stroll it in the other side. But there was just a bit about it that was like, okay, I like this. I like this a lot.
at the same time,
Everything
like,
fits into that step up. Do you know what I mean? It feels
yeah,
like
yeah,
it feels. He definitely would. They would have had offers. They would have had serious offers or inquiries, if nothing else. And we know that Liverpool were sniffing around him last season. I just wonder if everything feels like a step up when you're watching him play at the moment. And maybe this is the next thing: is that he's the one that's guaranteed to be on the pitch more than anybody else. Therefore, has he gone? I want those.
yeah. I don't know if someone rolls one in that's just inside, just outside of center, right? Because it wasn't wide right? It wasn't in the
No, no,
corner.
no.
So when that happens, I'm like, oh, I'm not sure. That never really. You see those kind of penalties from centre backs sometimes. They just kind
But
of
like,
they try and put it in the corner, and they're not good enough to do it. Obviously, Semenyo is good enough to do it, so I would expect him to really put it somewhere closer to the edge. Unless he just thinks he's just completely outfoxed for Bruggen already because he's only ever had one pen,
uh,
and he's just
yeah,
gone.
if
Well, it
you
doesn't
know
really
he's going there,
matter.
if he knows that he's going that way, then very often they don't put it in the corner, do
But then
they?
I'd like to
Very often.
see, yeah, but if that's fair. But most of the time, I like to see players go one side to the other, to the other, to the other before they hit one down the middle. Like
Yeah.
if one of your first penalties goes down the middle, I'm like, I don't really like that
No, no, no.
because keepers know that
Uh,
you've got it in your locker to just do that because it's safe and it doesn't miss the target if you just go down the middle.
Regardless of anything, if you haven't got him now, because so you're going to go back to your no team that hasn't got him,
Yeah, sucks.
do you just get him?
Like, yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think. Well, yeah, I think he's definitely the best person at
Because
that
he could have got
price.
more points than what he got. He's unlikely to get less and could have got
Yeah,
more. Um,
I
just
mean,
he feels incredibly talismanic. Only Haaland's got more points in this season. So last week I was saying 7.4 feels a lot for a guy without set pieces.
he's now got pens.
Possibly. But I would say that Cliver was pretty good when he came on. So if it does go back, we really need to get there are a few good Bournemouth
It's
journos.
good, but
I'm
then
not,
like Tav was good and Scott was good. So like, is Clivert just going to come back in? Like,
and even if he like I say, even if he does, if he's only going to be like on the pitch for like 50, 60 minutes, do you just let this guy take pens from
yeah,
now on?
you don't. I think you don't give the guy pens who is, I want to say a bit part, but
It's just that Clivert's really good at them.
he is good at
He's
them.
really good at them. So even if it is, well, if he's on the pitch, he takes them. If not, you take them.
Yeah,
I can still see them doing that. Um, but he's great. Get him in your team. Forget me team. And again, wild carding tomorrow, 100% Semenyo's new team. No doubts. Move on.
Nothing on
Um,
Brighton. I thought Minter was great.
Mentor was great.
Really, really good.
Consistently the best player. Every
Every
single time
week.
I watch him, I think Mentor's the best player. But do I want a guy, again, it's that similar pure open play and more of his stuff is assist than scoring. Mm, not sure. Albeit that first chance was it doesn't look like a big chance on it about 35, 40 minutes in, but it was a reasonable chance. It was a reasonable chance. So it's not like he's without goal threat. He's got good goal records historically. Um, but yeah, I, I I I would not be surprised if I go through the season without owning a Brighton player. Jorginho's around, obviously, but it's Welbeck's still there. Obviously, he said about O'Reilly going out on loan, and he said, yes, because we've got so many. And he talked about Costulos, the 18-year-old that they spent a lot of money on. Now, he still said that he's still not there yet, but he said he'll be starting to move. They did spend 40 odd million quid on an 18-year-old. They are going to play him at some point.
Yeah.
So if they let Matt O'Reilly go, like, is anyone nailed at Brighton? Just don't really trust Hurtsler.
Yeah, I think that's more it than anything.
As I
Don't
like to
trust the
talk about
manager. The
stuff,
fixtures aren't great, and we don't know who's on pens, so that doesn't help us there. Probably
I don't
Welbeck.
trust. I don't. I didn't trust what Hurtsler was wearing. If I'm honest, it's like it was just too all Zara. Like it was all Zara. I was like, are they like joggers? Are they like your fancy joggers type stuff? That's not really what they are. It was too Zara for my liking. Can't be having those picks.
Fair enough.
Fulham Leeds,
Well, it's the only game left with a goal. So
is it?
yeah, yeah.
I
Um,
mean, Fulham didn't do a lot. Three decent chances, all in the second half. Other than that, all Leeds. But again, it's one of those where it's like, God, this looks like it's all Leeds, and you have to say these are not to scale.
yeah, it's all a bit nothing really.
Total game was 1.33 XG.
I mean, neither of these teams are. I mean, like Fulham's fixtures now are terrible. Like, okay, they've got Brentford next week, but then it's Villa, which is probably a green fixture now. Bournemouth, Arsenal, Newcastle.
You can play Anderson in any game
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
if he cleans, it's always got a chance double digit. He's good on bonus. He has goal threat, and he's clearly good on DEFCON. So you can keep rolling him out. We should remember though with Anderson that I think even adjusted last season, he would only got like 100. I got in my head it was something like 107 points he would have got last season. So we can't expect 10 points every week as well from Anderson. It is like you say, great next week. Would I bring Anderson in? I'd probably keep him if I was on Wildcard. I think he's a very plug and play 4.5. Him and Senesi are like your easy guys who've just, yep. And he gets booked a lot less than Senesi does.
But
Um,
weirdly, they rotate really well.
yeah.
It's kind of nice.
They both those guys avoid you from needing to make transfers at the back.
Yeah. So you want two of those, a 4.0, Caicedo, and then fill your boots.
Romero, Lacroix,
And no, but I'm saying
Parko,
those are your cheap
Virgil.
locks. Those are your cheap locks, and then fill your boots,
Yeah.
basically.
I do wonder um if I was on Wildcard whether I'd have a 4.0. I think Rodon and Goodmanson have been, fantastic. Obviously, Goodmanson gets the ridiculous own goal that was one of the most crazy own goals you ever see. But just unfortunate. Um, and but they've been pretty solid at the back, Leeds, in this opening world, and Rodon's been an absolute hero for me. But I just do wonder this next when you're playing this, if we end up playing wildcard in like say maybe 7 or 8, or you've already played it, or you're going to play it in this week or next week, you're looking to go like 25 weeks or so, probably before you do your next wildcard. I think I'll be I think the 4.5s are so good. Like at the moment, you could have Van der Ven, Senesi, and Anderson. There you go, three 4.5s. I think they're worth. We're seeing so many double digits from defenders that my brain says I wouldn't have anyone cheaper than 4.5.
I still think if you can target fixtures, if there are targetable fixtures early on after you wildcard that gives you an opportunity to bench boost, then I still think that there's a reasonable argument, because outside of that, they're literally just going to sit on your bench, and you don't need all these players. Because what will happen otherwise is we'll end up with a million threads on rotating defenders, and then everyone's going to rotate the defenders in the weeks that they don't get cleans, and bench defenders are going to get cleans all the time. I would much rather hang my hat on a defender, and if he cleans, great. If he doesn't, no, it's fine. And my 4.0 guy gets whatever he gets. And because he's 4.0, in my mind, I can rationalise it. It's okay, because he was 4.0, I'm always going to bench him. But if it's like, I benched Senesi this week because he had, I don't know, Palace away, and he comes away with 12 points, and I'm like, well, that was a stupid idea, wasn't it? Why did I do that? Oh, yeah, because I decided to play my 4.5s over him, my other 4.5s. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Matt Locke says, target Leeds with your defenders. I think that definitely is. There is some.
I mean, look, if you're in the Premier League and you have Patrick Bamford and you go through that season where it is a complete frustration, and then the next time you're up you have Dominic Calvert-Lewin, like, you're just asking yourself for the same shit. Like, it's genuinely the same thing. They are the same.
It's a great point. Yeah, rather than the mindset is almost, rather than I'm going to get strikers in to play against Leeds, you are thinking, how can I if I'm going to make a defensive transfer move, they're almost the team to do it with.
Yeah.
So that's one promoted team done.
Let's move to the other one. So I think Palace did okay here. I think they were unlucky not to actually win the game. I think that, I mean, Roofs gets all 3 bonus. He makes some ridiculous saves. Like the first save from Kamada, I think, was better than the second one.
Yep.
Just because it had hammered it down at half time, right? And so the ground just becomes so wet, and that ball bounces right in front of him. And, from years of watching Hugo Lloris, to see a man go down and his hand just not buckle behind him as he goes down to save it,
it's nice.
Was quite nice to watch. And I even said it while watching it this morning on Match of the Day. And I literally sat downstairs. The whole family's down there doing other things. It's like, oh, nice. That was a nice hand to that. My wife was like, what? It was the only thing I commented on, actually, for about 20 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, if you brought Mateta in this week, or you did him on free hit, for example, I think understandably, when a striker blanks against a promoted team, and then the fixtures, they're not getting better from now, they're only getting worse to an extent, it feels a bit silly because obviously Salah was injured. But not many strikers in this league got more chances than Mateta got in this game. And he was pretty unlucky.
So he gets a big chance and there's a good save.
The shoulder save, again, is a good save. Like, he does move his shoulder for it, so it is good. But it is still like that. That's a Munoz to Mateta goal, which is massive. Like, in terms of the weekend, I think if you got him, you can feel pretty unlucky that you didn't walk away with a 9-pointer this weekend. And potentially, obviously, there was potentially that penalty right at the end as well, which I didn't see a huge amount of. You saw it. I'm always a bit, if you get the shot off, I don't really like it. But Glasner was fuming about it.
I mean, studs were high, and we see them get given everywhere. Like, we've seen them get given absolutely everywhere. I didn't quite understand why it wasn't a pen, but you're right. They didn't really spend much time on it, and
I
it
think it's
didn't.
good. I think he blew the whistle though, like almost immediately enough that
But you can do
the
it. Well, with this,
I know.
there's precedent for bringing shit back like that. We've seen that in the past.
I
I
think
mean, it probably should have been a pen. What did you? So what was interesting? What I thought was interesting actually was how much of the ball Jeremy Pino got in like the SAR space, and you could
in
tell
the
that
SAR space. I thought
exactly.
he'd be over
It
the
was
left, but he
no, no,
wasn't. He
no.
was in the SAR
He was
space.
in the SAR space, and it means that if you had SAR, if you're holding SAR, and he comes back in a couple of weeks, I mean, perfect because
Yeah,
he looked good. Like he's not got
I liked
the
him.
yeah. I mean, his finishing wasn't fantastic. His ball striking wasn't fantastic, and I think he took a couple of them a bit earlier than he needed to, which meant the chances
Yeah,
weren't as good. But yeah, again, they're just looking for
uh,
that channel,
as
and
a
that worked quite
debut, I,
well.
I thought I thought it was a good debut from
Yeah,
Pino. I was pretty happy with it. The Munoz was in, still in all the positions he was in. He still gets booked as he always gets. Like this is the conundrum of FPL right now. Of do you have the guy that has lots of threat but doesn't really get the bonus, does get booked quite a lot, doesn't get the DEFCON, or do you get the DEFCON?
yeah,
Tough. Like Lacroix, obviously, up until about the 85th minute, Lacroix was top of the bonus the whole way. And then the last few minutes, all three of the obviously the double save from Rose,
but
or
there is that, and
Roofs.
then like roofs,
uh,
and there like Pino scores or Kamada scores, right? And like obviously none of these Sunderland guys get bonus, and all of the Palace defenders get bonus.
Yeah, if the Mateta goal goes in,
I think Mateta
then
gets there just, does he not?
probably Mateta probably just gets there, but Munoz would be second because he could have the clean and did have the assist.
Munoz probably. I don't think Munoz would have got there. I don't think Munoz would have got there, but Lacroix and Richards would have had it locked.
No, no. If what I'm saying is, if Mateta scored from the Munoz assist, then Munoz gets an extra nine. Would
Yeah,
have got an
yeah, but
extra
I'm saying
nine.
yeah, but I don't. Yeah, I mean I don't know where he finished in.
I think he was
He's
about six behind, so he would have got ahead of them.
okay. He's not in the top five anyway. He's behind Henderson on 22. So if he was on 21 or 20, then yeah, he'd have been close.
Yeah, he was around.
But
Um,
they've got West Ham next week. So like, if you've got these Palace guys, like, don't move them on just yet. Just
no, you can't
keep
move them
keep them tucked away and keep using them
and play him.
and play them. Yeah, play them.
Who we got
And
left? And Sunderland, just again, like how many of these teams are we actually going to like? At some point, do we stop targeting these teams or not?
nah, no.
Still target them.
Still target them. Still target them. I mean, yeah. Let's target them in different ways. But I think that Burnley were very specific in the way they tried to stop Liverpool. It worked for most of it. Well, it
Hmm.
worked. It actually just worked. And then Sunderland probably should have been beaten. And Leeds, maybe you target them with, as you say, with defenders rather than with attackers,
Yeah,
maybe, because their attack is just so weak. And more so even with like the middling teams, right? Like, because you just want the attackers from the big teams, but maybe you target Leeds with the defenders from the middling teams.
yeah.
And then we move over to Everton Villa. And
Last but not least, if you're an Everton fan, at least.
yeah. Oh, it didn't come up. That's annoying. Oh, there he is.
There's your paddle.
Yeah, because this was a bit of a paddling, to be honest. And this doesn't even include chances that like Beto actually just missed. Like he actually just missed the ball as well. Villa are dog shit, man. They're just
I
horrible.
think Villa is a horrible, horrible problem. Um, and I have very, I have very little faith that it's going to magically get better. I have very little faith in it because it just looks the same every week, and it's hard to work out how they're going to make it better. Even Emery, when he's asked at the end, they're like,
He's
These
sitting there, he's
guys,
standing there smiling, saying we're working and all this sort of stuff.
we're working. We've done it before. We'll do it again. Almost. That's how it sounds. We've done it before. We'll do it again. Um, but I don't see where you do it again from. I don't think they know what they want in the midfield, which is the right balance for it. I think they're not good individually enough at the back. Um, Matty Cash, I mean, Grealish just took Matty Cash apart. He just took Matty Cash apart. Um, and I, pretty similar on the other side. I, I just don't see it. Like the whole thing is utterly reliant on Rodgers and Watkins playing well, and everyone knows that. So everyone knows that's all I've got to stop. I've got to make sure we stop that. We're going to pressure the hell out of Rodgers. We're going to foul him a lot. He took a few pretty nasty kicks in this game, and the people will continue to do that. Like Rodgers last season was first season Rodgers. I think a little bit people aren't so used to it, but I just think it's becoming more and more old hat. What we're seeing from them, it feels relatively one-dimensional. And I know we've got some really good fixtures, but we've just been talking about this team doesn't score, and the teams they're going up against are good at stinking it.
Yeah.
So do I have any confidence that my Rodgers and Watkins are going to do anything? No, I don't. I don't think they're going to go to Sunderland and score 4 or 5 goals next week. Am I going to play them next week at Sunderland? Yes.
I'm trying to work out how does it get better. I think Onana coming back into the fold will make them structurally better, but like Tillemans apparently is injured now.
Multiple games. We'll miss him for some games.
Some
That's what
games, some matches, yeah. Perfect.
some matches.
I've got him. I've got Murillo. Obviously,
That's the fun of free hitting it. You know what I mean? You're hoping for it to be okay in 2 weeks when the fixtures change, but sometimes football gets in the way before then, and
yeah.
that can happen. There's very little you could do about either of those injuries, but let's see. Even that, I did think like he did say that quite quickly. We're missing for some games, but you're like, does he just actually mean we're missing for midweek in Europe and he'll be back next weekend?
We'll see. We'll see.
We will see.
Yeah, obviously, and they didn't even use Sancho, which I thought was bizarre.
Mm.
I assume Harvey Elliott will just come in. I assume he'll just start next week without Tillemans there.
I don't know.
But I mean, surely he just has to. Just has to. But either way, like the sooner these Villa fixtures disappear, the better, and they can get out of my team.
The good news.
What did Walsh say? He wanted to yeet them, and for them to die and all this sort of stuff. That was.
So they've got on Tuesday night they play Brentford in the EFL Cup. I mean, the best thing they could do is literally. I think they should just throw that away. Like literally, just throw it away and send a load of people out that need minutes that haven't been playing. Wrap up Watkins, wrap up Rodgers, throw away to an extent because they need a week to try and sort their shit out. Because after this week, they then start moving into Europa time.
Yeah.
And it's Thursday night, Sundays, Thursday night, Sunday, Thursday night, Sunday. So as much as we're all looking at some of these things and saying, okay, so after this, we've got Sunderland, but then we've got Fulham, and then we've got Burnley. But they're Thursday, Sunday in those periods of times. They're leggy already.
I was going to say, it feels like they have to focus on the league already, does it not? Well, they just, in fact, that's probably a lie. They probably actually just have to focus on scoring a fucking goal.
They've got to focus on. There's just not a huge amount there for them. I think they're in problems. I genuinely think there may be problems. I think Emery can't be far off it.
No, can't be.
I genuinely think, like, despite all the good stuff that he's done for them over the last few years, um, it's always been on a knife edge. They've always done lots of loans. The PSR stuff has gradually been strangling them. Um, they've now spent a load more money again. Um, they can't afford it to not work out, which means if it ain't working, they'll just change the manager.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
Everton. Final talks
Everton
for
are good.
Everton because we've unbelievably we're beyond 2 hours now. I think this is the first time we've ever done
Are
one of
we?
these. Yeah.
Bloody hell.
I'm gonna start getting shouted at for still
It's a
talking.
10-game week. We haven't had a 10-game week, I don't
It is
think, for a
true.
Saturday, Sunday.
It is true.
They're fantastic.
It's good fun to watch. I mean, they're good to watch, and there's a lot of
And
creativity from
and
Ndiaye, Grealish, Dewsbury
the,
Hall,
the,
just moving them
all
forward
three of
nicely.
them are good assets. They're good assets. Um, I think it's hard to say there's anyone better at 5.0 than, or I think he is still 5.0, is he? I don't know if he's gone
Yeah,
up, maybe
Dewsbury
a
Hall.
5.1. But I think it's hard to say. It'd be my 5.0 if that's what I was looking at for a cheapo midfield. Um, and at that 6.5 range, I still think Ndiaye's really, really good.
Do you want Michael Keane?
I mean, he could have scored about 4 goals, but
He has an eye for it. Always has done.
he does.
But you're not
But he
going to
also
pick
has
him
a
over anyone else.
nah, because he almost bizarrely in a world like he's never going to get bonus because he misses 3 or 4 chances every game.
Yeah, true. It's true. But Branthwaite's still out for a few weeks.
Yeah, but then
5th
we've
of
got an
October
international
they're saying.
break pretty soon. Do you know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah, true.
It's actually only a few game weeks,
True.
and they've got Liverpool next.
True.
Although Liverpool don't create a lot.
Also true. That was long. That felt long.
It's long. A lot to talk about. A lot to do. Um,
The more I talk about
any
my team, I'm worried about having to wildcard this week. So I might have to start considering that as an option.
I don't think it's a terrible week to do it at all. I think Raptor might be doing it this week. Sliding on
Murillo,
Ross.
Tielemans, Bruno, Forrest, Verts. It's not great. And I've got Sanchez as well. And like I say, Bruno's a problem, but United have been still okay going forward in places. Yep. So Sanchez is not like Bob can be Bob. He can just throw one in the back of his net whenever he feels like it.
Yeah, but you got a hedge.
I have got a hedge. Sucks. Well, I've got no choice this week because I've got Sanchez and Bruno, and then I've got Dubravka and Triple Forest. So
and Jack, yeah, tough game.
Let's come back to it Thursday. See where we are after the.
Well, you need to work it out
after the European games.
After the European games, yeah, it won't take much. Wouldn't take much for a lot of people, I think. With there's a big injury in Europe, then that'll swing stuff.
Yeah, Europe, Carabao, all to come. Thank you very much for everyone for joining us. We do need to wrap it up. As I say, my wife will be shouting at me very, very soon if we do not disappear. But thank you again. 2 hours. Really appreciate you guys being here. Please make sure you do drop a like on the video. That would be much appreciated. Drop some comments in the chat. Drop some comments down below the video if you're still here. Let us know what you're planning for Game Week 5. Any chips you're looking to play. Anything like that. And as I say, if you want to continue the conversation with us, you can do over at Patreon, patreon.com/AboveAverageFPL, and get in the Discord where we will be playing a bunch of games, as always.
Walshy's just said,
can you hurry up and get this on Patreon so I can mow my lawn? Yes, absolutely, Walshy. I'll do that for you now.
Marvellous. See you soon, guys.
Catch you later. Cheers, guys.